What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So something that I noticed on my channel was that I get, a lot of people are interested in relationship talk and so on and so forth. And, it gets certain traction. Certain people want to have certain dialogue about it, so on and so forth. But I think it's also important to discuss because this is something that's not really explored as much, right? Especially within the Black community, I would say. You can be a faithful person. You can be faithful in a relationship and still be a terrible spouse or significant other. I'll say that again. You can be a faithful person in a relationship and still be a terrible spouse or significant other. A lot of people their boundaries are, hey, look, as long as you don't cheat, as long as I don't cheat, I'm good. As long as I don't cheat, I'm a good person. I'm a good man. I'm a good woman. As long as I don't cheat, as long as I don't cheat, as long as I don't cheat. Newsflash, people, honestly, and we all have to know this. You're not supposed to cheat in a relationship, so you're not supposed to get no cookies or trophies for that. It's kind of like a person bragging about taking care of their children, right? Something that I see men doing a lot. Like, you don't supposed to get no cookies or no awards for that. You're supposed to do that, right? So in relationships, a person is supposed to be faithful and committed. That's what they're supposed to do. Now, people fall short a lot. People fall short in that area. They don't live up to that expectation. And it happens, right? People make those mistakes and don't live up to those parts to that billing, right? That faithful billing. But I also want to say that you can be faithful as can be and still be a manipulative person. Like, I see it all the time. People be faithful, don't cheat in relationships, but they do all type of manipulative stuff, right? And I'm talking about the relationships that I've seen around me, whether it be friends, family, or people that I don't really know that well, but I've heard stories about, so on and so forth. You got people who, instead of, admitting that they're wrong in a situation, I've heard of women just crying their eyes out just to get their way and get coddled and get, held and not be held accountable for certain transgressions, certain things that they did wrong. You could be, and men do it as well, not cry. I've heard men, when they do something wrong, I've seen it for sure as well. They do something wrong, they get to go ahead and leave me, just like my mama did, just like my uncle did, just like my dad did. Go ahead and leave me. You ain't got to be with me. Just those manipulative tactics, which are also traits of a narcissist, right? A person can be faithful and still not be a horrible spouse. They could be a person who takes no interest in anything that their significant other does, has no interest in anything they do, doesn't even show a slight interest in it, which could cause tension and friction within a relationship because, hey, how can we bond and how can we share love for each other across different things if I'm only expected to pour into you, but you're not expected to pour into me, right? If I'm only expected to do things you like, but when it's time to reciprocate, you don't do those things. That's another way for a person to be a terrible significant other, even though they are faithful, right? A person can be faithful as can be and be verbally abusive. You're faithful, but you talk to your significant other however you want to. Cuss them all out, call them every name in a book, talk to them like they're the dirt at the bottom of your shoe, but still expect love and admiration and to be loved on and to be showered with affection, so on and so forth. And that's not how life works. In the real world, if you're verbally abusive to a person, that person is going to have doubts and wonders, hey, does this person really love me like that? Do they really care about me? You know what I mean? Because, and sometimes people think that is negated if, hey, I'm faithful, but I do this for you. I get you gifts. I do that for you. I do this for you. I cook meals for you. I take you nice places. I buy you things, so on and so forth. But still, being a verbally abusive person says something about how you treat that person. If you're not treating a person well, you can buy them all the gifts you want. You can cook as many meals as you want. You could deliver as much good sex as you want to. It's still not going to fix the fact that, hey, that person will still feel empty or still feel like they're less than by the way you talk to that person. And because I always hear people brag about, hey, I was faithful. Yeah, you were faithful. But what else were you not doing? What were you not doing to keep that person, to show that person that you loved them, to show that person that you were still in love with them, so on and so forth? People can be faithful as they want to be, but still be a person who's inconsiderate, only thinks about themselves 24/7, selfish, inconsiderate, does not appreciate when somebody goes out of their way, that their significant other goes out of their way to do things for them, because sometimes people get comfortable and think that, well, you're supposed to go out of your way for me. You love me, right? We're in a relationship. You adore me. You want to spend the rest of your life with me. You're supposed to do that. No, you're still supposed to show appreciation for when a person goes above and beyond for you, because that keeps a person wanting to do that, and it keeps the relationship fresh, so on and so forth. And these are things that me myself it's certain things I had to learn within relationships, so on and so forth as well, right? You can love, you can be faithful as can be, and you can still like I said, you don't show appreciation for something. You can still be a person who does not hold yourself accountable for things when things go wrong, right? There are people in relationships who, when they do wrong things, instead of saying, you know what, I was wrong, I was messed up, I messed up, I acted immaturely in that situation, I shouldn't have done that. Instead, they'll just try to make an excuse for whatever they did, to try to create some type of validation for acting irrational, for acting out, for acting like a child, so on and so forth. So the faithfulness goes out of the window. Yeah, you can be faithful, but it's like, what else are you pouring into the relationship to keep it filled with substance, to keep that person, to keep you all in a friendship and a love ship at the same time, if love ship is a word. But yeah, like I always hear that people are always faithful, you faithful. People think that, and I think because in relationships a lot of times, infidelity is like a big thing, right? Infidelity. And people be like, well, if it ain't infidelity, then what could be wrong? At least they not cheating. At least they not cheating. Like, if not, like people think if that's not happening, then it's all grounds to still be with that person. But it's like, nah, you got people who are in relationships with people who, they are scared to even ask them for help with things. Right? Their spouse does not make them even feel comfortable with approaching them with certain issues they may be having, or help with certain things, whether it be financially, emotionally, spiritually, so on and so forth, right? Now, I'm a firm believer that your significant other is not supposed to be your primary counselor. You need to actually have a real counselor for that, seeks therapy, because putting too much on your significant other, as far as like emotionally, can be draining for that person and can suck the life out of them. So people need, if they really, really need a lot of like some professional help, please seek that. But what I'm saying is that you could be with somebody and you can't even come to them when it comes to having certain conversations. If you're talking about needing help, I know people, I've heard of women being in relationships with dudes. They can't even ask them money because their significant other, whether it be a husband or boyfriend, will make them feel like the worst person in the world, when they're asking for the money. And they're like, I'd rather not ask no more. I know men who may be down on their luck at the time, and they married to a woman, and hey, baby, I fell short in the area. Can I have a few dollars until then? I'll give it back or whatever. The woman don't want to give it to him. The woman want to go down a hole. Now I can see if a person, whether it be man or woman, is irresponsible with funds, and they're terrible at managing money, and they're mismanaging time and time again. But it's like once in a blue moon, it's like, yo, help your person that you love them, help them out. Don't make them feel like, they have to break their pride in order to ask for certain things. But yeah, man, it's people think that as long as you're faithful, it's just a perfect relationship. And I was like, y'all got to knock it off, man. There's so many different things that can happen in a relationship outside of infidelity that could ruin a relationship for sure. Whether it's a person that is just like, not a thoughtful person, not a person who knows how to talk to a person. Some people don't even know how to talk to people. When y'all having a disagreement, your significant other got to go and lose their damn mind every single time. They got to go way over the top. They got to do all this cussing, hollering, and screaming and yelling and all of that. And it's like, nah, like, you don't even know how to talk to nobody when you have a problem, when you have some type of conflict. How do you expect to build a foundation on a relationship when y'all can't even have simple conversations? yeah, y'all faithful and y'all, y'all not doing nothing outside of the relationship, but it's like, okay, like what we faithful, but what's going on here? Like you're horrible, you're manipulative, you're not supportive. People, I've heard of people in relationships where their significant other likes to do a certain thing, right? Or they may be engaged in a certain extracurricular activity. Their spouse or their, boyfriend or girlfriend does not care about it at all, does not try to support them, does not try to show up to these certain events for emotional, moral support. None of that. They just leave them in the dark, leave them hanging, and could care less about it because it's not involving them. And I've seen this from both men and women. I've seen it where a woman wants the person to the woman is faithful, but she don't want nobody else to be around her dude but her. If you want to hang with family and friends, he got a certain amount of window to be with them. If it's over 2 hours, she calling, blowing up the phone. He has no type of like boundary set. He has no type of personal space or any type of like he doesn't have his own time for real. You always on your significant other's time. That is terrible. Your person is like a whore. Like, why are they being such so clingy? That's not good. It's not healthy for relationships, man. So, we can't always just look at fidelity as the end all be all of relationships. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, because they'll get to patting themselves on the back because they haven't cheated, because they haven't stepped out. They start looking at themselves as higher than thou, holier than thou, or putting themselves on pedestals when they don't even know they significant other don't even feel the same way about them. Because it's like, yeah, you're faithful, but it's like, we don't even have a healthy foundation for this relationship. I can't come to you with certain things. I can't, you're verbally abusive. You're manipulative. You try to swindle me to get your way. You try to get certain things to go in a certain direction for things to go your way instead of just coming to me and asking me right out. You try to, you see all type of things, man. You see people, a person is faithful, but they have a disregard for your family, a disregard for people that you care about, your friends. They treat them wrong, they treat them bad, so on and so forth. So it's multiple forms of it. And and that's the things that I've observed from looking at relationships around me, looking at relationships of friends, looking at relationships of people that I knew or friends of friends, or just seeing stuff out in the open. Man, I swear to God, I was at Walmart, right? And I'm bagging up the groceries. Me and my daughter, we bagging up groceries. This man is with this woman, and I'm telling y'all, he bagging up groceries. She put the shit in the fucking bag. She talking to him like he's a child. Put the shit in the fucking bag is how she talking to him, right? And he looking at her like, what you mean? She like, shit. Go ahead and finish. Keep going. Cuss, talking to him like she crazy. Attitude all wild and nasty, and she could be a faithful woman, but she's humiliating this man, embarrassing him in public. I'm right here as a man. I'm seeing another man get sunned by his woman, getting talked to and belittled. My daughter's seeing it right there. They got a little bitty baby with them. The baby 2, so the baby don't really know it's a little girl. She didn't know what was going on, but it's just like the precedent that's being set. She's doing it. He's allowing it. Just imagine how the woman will continue to talk to him as their daughter gets older. She gonna see her dad get talked to and belittled. That she gonna think that's all right and is okay to continue. And that woman could be as faithful as she want to be, but she's still a horrible significant other by the way she's talking to that guy and talking to him as if he ain't nothing, right? I've seen men, like I say, do manipulative stuff. They'll try to. I heard of men having money, don't want to spend their own money, lying to their spouse, manipulating them to get the money to use their wife money instead of using theirs. All type of crazy stuff, man. You just be like, bro, you can be as faithful as you want to be. You not what you think you are, because you still are doing terrible things that's not building a healthy relationship. You still are doing certain things that makes your relationship plummet rather than ascend. And that's the thing, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this topic. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.